Hey guys, it's that video person again, and I have a question from a user that was sent over to me from a guy from YouTube, and I just copied and pasted it here so you all could read it. So here it is. Hey, that video person, I have a question that maybe you can answer. I have been hearing a lot of hype about these new Apple Mac computers, and I want to try one since everybody says that they don't get viruses and that they don't lock up. The only thing is that they are so expensive. Is it possible to emulate Mac OS on Windows, just like you can emulate Windows on Mac OS? KROG87. Well, first of all, Mac computers, they do lock up. Trust me, I've had one before, and they do. So don't even tell me that they don't. And yes, you can emulate them. You can even dual boot them with Windows, so you can run Windows and Mac on the same computer. It's just like when you boot up the computer, you'll be given an option to boot from Windows or Mac OS. And yeah, you can do it like that. But today, the purpose of this is that I'm going to show you how to emulate Mac OS 10 on Windows. So, to do that, you need an emulator. And say, to emulate Windows on Mac OS, you need Virtual PC. Well, that doesn't work with Mac. You need another one. And this one is called VMWare Workstation. And search it on Google, and you can just click on this link, and you can do a trial version, or you can buy it, or you can go to a site like isohunt.com and go here in the search box, type in VMware Workstation, and here's one right here. You can click here and download it. And it says if you have BitTorrent, if you know how to do that, that's fine. If you don't, just do a trial version. And say you already have VMware downloaded. Well, now, to emulate macOS 10, you need an image of macOS 10, and it needs to be patched so that it'll boot in VMware. And that image you can download also from BitTorrent is called here's one here you can download. macOS 10 JAS AMD Intel. This one will work. And you need BitTorrent, of course, and it needs to be SSE2, SSE3, and it needs to include PPF1. I guess it's just some kind of patch. Download the torrent. If you need to know more on how to use BitTorrent, just Google it. BitTorrent, I guess. Download it, and it's just a simple ISO file. And to boot that in, and you need to boot that in VMware to install it. So now, say you already have VMware and the Mac OS 10 image, I'm pretty sure that's all you need to have. That's all you gotta have. So now, let's set up the virtual machine in VMware. So, start, all programs. Sorry, I've got multiple monitors, so you might not see it. And I had to run this under a low resolution so you could see the text better. Okay, so here is VMware. Okay. Now what you need to do next is create a new virtual machine. And if you're not familiar with virtual machines, it's just like running a virtual machine in your machine, basically. It's like running another operating system in your machine without touching your actual hard drive. So it's like a safe way of trying a new operating system or running applications, you know, through another operating system without having to install it natively on your actual hard drive. And how it works is like the virtual machine is a file, and then your virtual machine hard drive is a file. And it works kind of like that. So click next. Go to typical, and then click next. Click other, and then click other on the version, and click next. Virtual machine name, I guess type in Mac OS 10. Okay. location, I guess that's fine. Then click next. The networking, I haven't got networking, you know, I haven't got any internet in macOS 10 is what I'm trying to say. So I don't think this would really matter. You might have to play around with it, but I have not yet to get internet through macOS 10 on the virtual machine. So I'm just gonna leave this. The disk size, I'm gonna put mine at 6 because that's plenty of space if you're just going to install it and try it out. And I'll tell you right now, macOS 10 running it through the virtual machine is extremely slow. And doing anything extreme like, say, Final Cut Pro or video editing, well, no, you can't do that. So to do that, you probably need to install it natively. But we're just using a virtual machine, so we won't worry about that. On the disk capacity, like I said, put mine at 6, and I'm going to click allocate all disk space now. Because that's just how I've done it, and it's worked that way. Because if you don't, I think I've gotten some errors too. So click finish. Okay, it allocated the disk space successfully and the virtual machine was created. So just click close. And here you have your virtual machine all ready to use, but not, well, actually not quite yet. Click on the edit virtual machine settings. Click on memory, and I try to make this as high as it'll go. Probably I would do right now, probably that'll work. You want a lot of memory because the more memory you have, the more memory you set it to, the faster it'll run, is what I'm trying to say. Hard disk space, that's fine. CD-ROM, we're going to use ISO image, and we're going to use that JAS Mac OS 10 image. So click that, and click on Browse, and locate your Mac OS 10 image. I have mine over here. And then click floppy, and disconnect that, or no, keep that connected, I'm sorry. I think you can disconnect it, but just for this video I'm not going to, just to make sure it doesn't mess up or anything. That's fine, which the sound comes in crappy too from Mac OS 10, so I wouldn't worry about that. Display, that's fine. Processor, I set mine to 2, but we'll just do 1. Okay, there you have that virtual machine, and let's start this virtual machine now. Press F8 when you get to the boot screen and type in -V, so it will display a verbose of errors that might come up. As you can see, it's my monitor, my display is running at 800 by 600, so it's going to be, you're not going to see all of the virtual machine. I'll just have to kind of scroll around, so I'm going to let this do its thing. Yours should just go, okay, after that long line of scripts and text, it finally showed up to this select language screen. If you did have any problems as far as not being able to load the select language and basically the installation, I will have a FAQs part at the end of this video that will answer some of the problems and questions that you might have. So just stay tuned for that in case you had any trouble. But now, let's get into the virtual machine, actually, and let me find my cursor. Okay, after that long list of scripts and just words, I guess, it's finally loaded to the Mac OS 10 installer. And now I want you to select your language, so select whatever language you prefer. I'm American, so I do English. And see down here, let me scroll down, that's the little next button. And let it do its thing real quick. Like I said, I'm running an 800 by 600, so it's really hard, you know, to navigate around here. So I'm probably going to be messing with these scroll boxes a lot. And also, if you had any problems just installing or, you know, getting to this part of the installation, stay tuned, because at the end of the video I'm going to have a little part, kind of like a FAQ, where I'll take